And so, like I said, my experience is current, very digital, very fast. Everything was available online. The filling of the forms, it was very simple. The only thing probably is just getting a few signatures and a few people to guarantee that you'll actually pay back the loan. And being in employment, you get the loan from HELB and you continue. You can choose to, like for me, I chose to start paying the loan immediately. So it really, really helped me. And it's now I didn't have to struggle, like, do I pay rent or pay for school fees? It was really very easy for me to complete my education. Yeah.
So for you also, the experiential customer service was very different because the digital face was it.
Yes.
And things were quicker.
Yes.
So it was quick off the mark, your papers are signed, your loan is disbursed.
I think mine was better. In fact, I remember, unlike maybe the yesteryears where actually people had to wait for like 2 years before they enroll to the university. Me, I cleared in 2010, 2011, naenda campus. So in fact, how I knew HELB, ni through one of my friends. Kwa antuambia, by the way, ukipewa hiyo kitu kampo life iko smooth. Hey! Nikajua hapa ni pesa. Nikaambia wazazi sasa iko hivi, we need to apply for this thing. Hiyo, in fact I told them, hiyo tu ni ya kuni boost, but you still retain your role, the core duty ya kulipa fees. Ini ya kuni boost, but it's coming on well. Actually I went, I remember that was the first time I knew of an existence of a chief. Sijai muona.
Amen.
Because you need to
But
open
vile,
That
where
has not changed.
I had to go there, nikatafuta chief. In fact nauliza, mshaisikia kama hii area tunaishi kuna chief? Naambiwa kwa kanisa hapo nje ya kanisa kuna kwa na chief. So I went, actually I think things were a bit smooth because I went and for some reason it was not as hectic. So I just went, nika apply kila kitu. By the way, it was done and they started depositing money. And I think things were so simple and I'm glad they gave me that money. Mimi by then, I was the true beneficiary. Maisha ikuwa mbaya. Unajua, I schooled at Chuka University. In that place, mandizi tatu ilikuwa 10 bob. So una imagine how rich I was.
Let's talk about the misconception, because I think earlier off camera we were talking also with you, Linda, and you are also greatly shy to apply for HELB because you had so many things that were not really good about HELB then, or hidden cost, interest and all. So how did this perception change?
I think it's the need, the fact that I actually needed it. So I said, let me just take it. But I earlier on I'd heard of a lot of misconceptions about HELB, including the hidden charges. I don't know if you've taken a loan of 20K or whatever loan they give you, you're going to pay it triple the amount when you're repaying it. That's a misconception. And then the issue of who qualifies for it. You must know people for you to actually,
to be
even
enlisted,
your name to be just, for you to get. Me, I didn't know anyone. I just posted online on their website, on their link, and then I was able to, I took my documents, I didn't know anyone, and then I was called the acceptance letter that yes, and then the disbursement. So it was very simple for me. So the misconceptions are there. And even with the online space right now, people continue to share those misconceptions. You have to experience something for you to actually believe in that process. Because if you don't experience it, you'll be seeing it in the eyes of other people. Yeah.
I remember most of the people assumed HELB only finances students who are in the public universities. But one thing I admire about them, especially the digital revolution and their channels, they've really gone big in trying to educate the public. You pay for all kinds of students, whether you're in a TVET, whether you're in a private public, they've really tried to work on that. Also, another thing I think I also heard was that, hey, ukimaliza tu hivyo immediately
wanaanza
kukata.
That's what I had.
So let me tell you, hata me I had some fear. So unamaanisha nikipata tu job hivi, in fact
you owe
them. So that was one of the biggest. That's why I was like, na nisipopata job for like the first 2 years, watakuwa nakata nini?
And
with the interest rate also be accruing.
Interest rate accruing. And also another thing, maybe the fines now, if you don't pay monthly. That was
the penalties.
Actually,
also another thing.
You had
that one, mine was even worse. Mine was they dictate your payment.
and not necessarily you speak to them about what you can afford. So they used to say something crazy like, utaanza kulipa 5,000. My first salary was big. I was earning 17,000 more. So I'm even wondering, wait, what? This is a whole third of my salary. But that wasn't true. Like when I started, I think my payment was 1,700 bob to HELB. And as my salary increased, I was still paying the minimum until the point at which I told them I want to pay more. So those misconceptions are the ones that actually make people step away. Or even the other misconception is you can't get it katikati. Ukishaanza, ujue hiyo story imeisha, ujisort. You get? But yet she went and got it in the middle of her education. So there's so many things that, and the problem is it's mouth to mouth. No one ever bothers to even take a few minutes. But what Martin said is right. There's at least now there is a lot more education in how you get it, who gets it. It got to a point where they actually tell you why you did not qualify. If you do not qualify, and if you appeal and you have good enough grounds for appeal, they actually grant it. If their funds agree, can accommodate that situation.
Is it because there was no robust, sensitization and awareness also from HELB? Maybe the digital platform also has really contributed to people knowing more. You think?
Actually, that has played a large part. But even in the last few years, we've seen a lot more of them. So the fact that now they're talking to universities and actually going for those open days and to talk to students, it helps a lot. Yeah.
So all of you actually saw also and experienced the Wetu. Maybe you can relate that from your experiences that now we are trying to roll out this particular series of Wetu. There were some pain points that you had and HELB came through and you say, truly, I could not have actually steamrolled my whole education if it was not for HELB. Wetu.
Yes, that's true, because like I said, my story, paying from your salary or from cash, if you have cash maybe at the bank and then you're supposed to pay using that, it can be very draining. You can actually all your money can just be done in a couple of, even before you complete your education. So HELB is very, very, it's nice. It's a nice initiative to just help you even mentally, because you're paying using your money, and then now you can't even afford food because you're looking at your bank account and the amount is just yes. So it mentally you learn, you're in school, you are stable, you are not stressed about where will I get my next payment and things like that.
Before we gravitate maybe to because you raise also a very important aspect of maybe financial literacy that we need to talk about, and our HELB maybe you opened your mind on the importance of savings. I remember you talking about savings and you're like, you started actually paying for yourself while in college. So that was, I think, was a good salutary effort from you. But I just wanted to know, were you bang on with the remittance, or there was a delay? What was the response? Did you wait for HELB to reach out to you, or in the spirit of Wetu, you just said okay? You talk to the accountant there, the payroll master or whoever in your office from the finance office.
I had to reach out to them to understand. I knew there was a grace period, so what I did, luckily enough, I got even my first job at Ipsos before graduating. So it was very easy. So I was like, okay. Yeah, so like I was like, hey, okay, nianze kulipa, nisianze. So I delayed by then, nikasema, wacha ningoje aka period, kakikaribia, nikuwe mzuri sasa. So that is how actually I started, nikaanza, by then I started paying 500. And then I remember now when I moved away from Ipsos, I joined another company. Hey, nikaanza kuwa a bit serious, nikaanza kuwa, hey, na by then niko na deni, najua hivyo. So I began paying too vizuri. According to HELB, there's a specific time, I can't remember, because what I used to do, I used to send my money via M-Pesa. And that is also another convenient thing. I was not of the idea that I want your pesa deductive directly from the salary. I was just like doing that. And I think once I went there and we talked, so I got someone who began to help me, akaniambia, this is how you're supposed to do it. So nikaeka a Google Calendar. Every month, ikifika a certain date, nalipa.
Now, when I went to a corporate company that had more serious policies and stuff like that is when I started paying 1,700. But thankfully, I told you earlier about my friend. She was just like, Shara imeongezwa, utaongeza HELB. I'm like, Aki, si mtu ununua handbag. She was like, utaongeza HELB. And that's, I think I was done in, I think 2.5 years after. Like after, when I started becoming serious, I was done in a very short while. If you owe, anza kulipa. At kama ni hiyo 500 ya Martin. Whatever you give, if 100 of you do the same thing, somebody is going through school.
It's true.
Exactly.
Or one of you is actually going through school.
Fantastic. And it is because this fund is revolving.
Yes.
And you have the moral imperative, you as a beneficiary, also to pay it back so that someone else can actually benefit as well.
It's true.
I want to hear your story on
My
that.
story is a bit different. So now me ilinisaidia because you see I didn't have a regular income.
Yes.
Unajua? So ni off and on. Nikipata pesa kidogo na save ya kunisukuma. I was actually newly married. I just gotten married then. Unajua so ni kujipanga. So sikuwa na stress ya home, stress ya masomo. Unajua mimi ni A student. Anyway, but you see, so for me what I used to do is I used to not pay consistently, but
Pay
when I
back.
get chunks of money, I pay back. You know, so
In a lump sum?
In a lump sum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it used to. So nilimaliza.
But how did
faster.
you navigate now with the arrangements, cross over to the next month to not pay the
So I never
penalties,
used
the
to
interest?
care. I never used to care. Because now,
You were
what do
fine
I
with
do?
the-
What do
with
I
the-
do?
Yeah.
Sina
Whatever.
consistent
Penalty.
income.
Yeah,
And so I prioritize the month naona, hii month priority yangu ni this, si HELB. Yenyewe kusema ukweli. Poleni sana HELB, lakini si nyinyi this time. But next time, when I get some more money, maybe I do more gigs, nini, I have more money, I can now prioritize a chunk of money to HELB. It'll kick off maybe a certain number of months, or I can even pay in advance. And that's even the only survive me. Na nikamaliza. Yeah.
And I think that is a very important aspect because there are many who wonder as well that I don't have a consistent salary. I'm not salaried every month, So when I have money is when I can pay back my loan. So how can you also encourage them? And in light of this conversation, how can you also reach out to HELB that there could be an arrangement? There are
Yes.
many people who are willing and they
Yes.
suffer your frustration,
Yes.
yet they're penalized, but you can say, okay, I'm not really on
I'm not
a monthly,
employed.
I'm not employed
Exactly.
as such, I'm
As
self-employed
such.
and my consistency of actually remitting this, it's not feasible.
You actually can. It just needs you need to be diligent and you need to be honest, and you need to pay.
One of the things
Because
you can
discipline.
do, I would
Yeah.
rather you talk to the HELB.
Yeah, talk to
Yes.
them.
Have a
Get in
conversation.
touch.
Because-
Have a conversation with them and explain to them, look at it, this is my situation, guys. I don't have a consistent salary, but when I get something in lump sum, I can remit
So
this.
even ndio sasa mimi ilikuwa conversation yetu. But yani it was a conversation that we had. Actually sat down and kuambia,
Yeah.
this is how I survive. By the way, mi sinanga
I
ati
think-
consistent income at indalipo every month.
Yeah.
this
Reach
much.
out.
Yeah.
So
Those-
just have a conversation.
I think those people who have an issue with repaying their loans are people who behave as if they've received the loan, they've benefited, and they don't care about repaying it
The next-
because this is government money.
Yeah.
This is part of my tax. That is what people. That is actually the conversation.
In
out
reality,
here.
you're actually denying your
You
cousin.
need to pay.
Even the bigger thing is it's curtailing or even denying another student an opportunity to continue with that, like asome. You see, because I always believe in a revolving fund. In many institutes, actually across the world, we also have this kind of funds. They are revolving, and for you to also help another student have a better future, you need just to start paying. I actually believe it's not even the amount, just start paying. And the important
Hiyo
thing,
ndio shida.
by the way, when you talk, these HELB guys are very good. Once you ignite a conversation with them, they'll just tell you, okay, Wewe, how much do you think you can
Yes,
pay?
yes.
That's true.
And what can we do to facilitate this? They are very good people. The thing is, we have so much misconception outside here regarding the fund, in that people don't even take that initiative to reach out.